What books do you actually need for pharmacy school? Let's talk about it. So, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about what books should you actually spend your money on for pharmacy school. Now, I'm a fourth year pharmacy student, so I've literally spent all the money that I need to on pharmacy books. So, let's talk about what is worth it, really. So, the first book I actually purchased was this book, Pharmaceutical Practice. Now, I'm just going to give you the verdict straight off. If you have no clue about pharmacy and you want to get a brief idea about every single topic that you could possibly learn, this is a really good book. So maybe if you're going the summer of pharmacy school, or if you're an applicant and you want to know a bit about what you're going to be learning about, this is really good. As you can see, I've started to read it and then I gave up really, and I was highlighting keynotes and stuff from it, and it gives you a bit of an idea of what goes into being a pharmacist. It actually talks about pharmaceutics in it, law and ethics, packaging, and all things like that. So it's a really good overview. Would I spend my money on this again? No. Do I think you need to spend your money on this? No. Especially as an applicant, do not waste your money on this. The reason why I'm saying it's a good read is because if you have absolutely no idea pharmacy is for you, then have a read of it. I'm pretty sure you can get it for really cheap though off World of Books. I'm pretty sure I bought it for no more than, I want to say, £7. I do not believe that I would have bought it for more than a tenner, but we don't know. So don't waste your money on it. If it is cheap, then I will probably drop an actual price of how cheap you can get it down here. Um, but I wouldn't waste my money on it as a pharmacy student because you learn all this anyway, and it's just so big and bulky. I wouldn't bother with that. So yeah, the next book I'm going to talk about is such a common book, so don't roll your eyes at me, but we have to talk about it. It's the BNF. This is my beautiful BNF. It's not battered actually for 4 years, but let's talk about it. The BNF should be given to you by your university. If it's not, then don't go ahead and buy it. It's really expensive. I think pharmacy schools now are pushing towards it, the online version of it. So I think in your exams and things like that, they'll be printing out extracts of it, or they'll give you PDF snippets of certain high weighted sections that you need to know. And when you're in lectures, I think you'll just use the online one and the app, which is so much nicer because having to navigate all this is too much. Hence the tagged parts. The reason why I want to talk about it is in perspective of it being a book and online, you really need to familiarize yourself with it because it's such a time waster, especially when you're in OSCEs. So picture this, like you're in a 10-minute OSCE station and you know that you're going to have to give metformin out to the patient. This is literally a real scenario from my OSCE. And you're literally looking through all these pages looking for metformin. You go through the index, you're looking for metformin. I'm pretty sure it wasted 2 minutes. It wastes 2 minutes of your time, hence the tagging. Because what I would do is I would tag like all of my main topics, so mental health, diabetes, antibiotics, and then find quick things in there. Depending on your uni, I'm pretty sure you can highlight, but you just cannot write in it. So do not write in your BNF, because if you take it with writing in it, I'm pretty sure they will say, get it out of here. It's not allowed in exam conditions. So for starters, I'd probably say just highlight and tag it as best as you can. And if you on the online version, also learn how to use the online version and where you need to go as quick as you can. I don't know if in OSCEs are going to maybe even give you a computer to navigate it yourself. But it's such a time waster. So learn how to do it for yourself. It is really useful in other things about telling you what the drug is about. So I should give you a bit of a lowdown if you are a new pharmacy applicant, what the BNF is. So the BNF is the British National Formulary, and it has all the drugs you could imagine in this one big fat book. Hence, it's so high weighted. It gets released every year. So I've got the 84, there's 85, 86, etc., etc. And it gets renewed every year with if there's any new drugs, if there's any new dosings, and anything new like that. It's like your holy grail because the whole idea is that when you get to the GPHC exam, you're a walking, talking BNF. They don't expect it, but then that's how, like, everyone ends up being a walking, talking BNF at the end, from what I remember. The reason why this is so important is that not only will you use it for drugs and finding out actual doses and things like that, if you go to the front pages of your BNF, I've tagged like really important sections. It has things like renal dosing, where you talk about like what is the different stages of kidney failure and things like that, and how you calculate creatinine clearance and EGFR. And also, it has like opioid conversions as well, which is a big thing, especially if you're in third year, where you'll be doing this in calcs. You don't need to necessarily remember them, but I always used to have them out just in case in OSCE they would just ask me, "Oh, I've actually got morphine. I want to convert it to dimorphine. What is the actual new dosage?" Um, and then also, it also helps with your responding to symptoms because you've got all the OTC stuff in it that you'd probably give, like your Laxido, your Imodium, and things like that. So this is the most important thing you have. Don't stress if you don't have a paper version. Don't go out and buy a paper version. You can do it online. I think the only time I'd probably buy a new BNF from now on is if I did the GPHC exam. Well, when I do the GPHC exam next year, because I want a fresh one and to relearn it from the start. But they are expensive, so but you'll be fine in pharmacy school with the online one. Just stay familiar with it. Now, this section's very responding to symptoms vibe. I want to talk about two really important books that these are the books that I've probably used the most alongside the BNF. So other than the BNF, because you know you're going to use that, these are the two books I would probably say that I invested in and I actually used a lot. The first book is the Counterintelligence book by Boots. So I've got the 2025 one. The only reason why I get the new one every year because I work for Boots, or when you do placement at Boots, sometimes they just give it to you. Your uni should give it to you. Don't count me on that. My uni gave me the first counterintelligence book. It's really good in first year OSCEs. I used it in first and second year OSCEs, but because of the IP course change, a lot of my what I did in second year has just been rammed into first year. So it's good for your responding to symptoms, your OTC things as well, because it covers every single thing you pretty much need to know and kind of ask in anything that is over the counter treatment. So it talks to you about pain relief and sort of questions that you need to know. So we have WAM. You probably know about WAM if you're a pharmacy applicant. WAM is like a questioning technique, like the way you have like an acronym like PETAL for your like GCSE English or whatever. We have a WAM acronym that we kind of go by when talking to patients. So it gives you all the WAM questions. And also it talks about key topics like diarrhea and also like the sore throat and what to give and what's all over the counter. Also, when I used to do my OSCE notes, I used to get confused what was available with OSCEs and OTC treatment. My best advice to you is always pick for that specific like issue. So let's say constipation, pick two treatments that you are really comfortable in remembering. So if it's, I would always remember Laxido and I would always remember lactulose. So two kind of different formulations or drugs, and learn that. The reason why this is really nice is because it tells you at the back of the counterintelligence all kind of the drugs available, the prices, how it's dosed, and also what it's actually for. I used to use this alongside OTC directory because it used to give me a bit of an idea of what is out there. Because you got to remember you're not always in the pharmacy. You don't know everything that's coming in. What certain treatments there are. I used to look at I used to use this a lot for peds as well, like for things like broncho stop and things like that. So it just gives you an idea of how much things cost and also the dosages straight away off the bat. Like especially with Gaviscon, it tells you the dosage, so it's just quicker. Like all this information is also in the BNF, but it's like a mini like BNF for OTC things. I think I used to like the smell of it. I shouldn't do that. I'm just look weird, but yeah, this is a good one. So don't buy it, but get it off your uni. And if you can't ask your uni for it, they should get it. I wouldn't. I've never have to buy it ever. I'm trying to think how else you would probably get it. I used to just get it from work because I used to work for Boots. But if you can't get it from work, then really speak to your uni. They should be able to get it. I wouldn't even buy it. It does have a retail price on the back for 30 quid, but why would you bother? I wouldn't. I've got a few, I think. So if you want one, let me know, and I could probably give you mine because I really don't really need to use that. But I think a lot of pharmacy students have that laying around. Now, if you were to ask me what my favorite book, I wouldn't say ever, but favorite, most useful pharmacy book that I actually used and bought with my own money is this one. I recommend this book so much. Like, I used it a lot. If you are a first year pharmacy student, maybe not invest in it. Actually, I would. I bought it and I invested in it. Buy it. It's so good. It goes through every single thing you could imagine to do with what you're going to do on responding to symptoms. It has all of the pediatrics, it has all the respiratory conditions, and it gives you like questions at the back so you can reaffirm what you're doing. Even like my uni would write their lectures based on this book, and I would go home and read it. And even when some of the topics we didn't really even cover in OSCE, like for example women's health, it wasn't really covered in our OSCE, I still read it because it just gives you the lowdown on every single topic that you need to know, like the background, the epidemiology, the etiology, the differential diagnosis, and everything. It's just so good and so clear. And I based my OSCE notes on this as well. It gets updated quite often. Like I know that this is the third edition. I really think he's on the 10th. I think Paul Rutt is on the 10th edition, so he's very, very updated quite a lot. I use this in first and second year because, again, I did responding to symptoms over first and second year. When tutoring pharmacy students, I figured that they just do it all in first year, and a bit in second year. So that's why I'm saying first year pharmacy students, this is so good. And in second year, I haven't used it anymore. Didn't use it in third year because it's a bit, I've learned more clinical topics now that I don't need to use it. But anything OTC, anything very minor ailmenty, then this is your go-to. I just love this book so much. So worth it. So get that one. This is like one of the last physical books I actually have, and I'm in the midst of using this at the minute, but it's the Pharmacy Situational Judgment Test book. I This is more for third year pharmacy students. You probably get it in the summer of just after finishing third year. I haven't used it yet because I'm using Blackstone tutors more. It's very mixed reviews with these. Everyone's like, go and get this book, go and get this book. It's really good. And some people are like, well, some of this is wrong. I'm yet to decipher on it, but I would always just buy it anyway because you cannot have too many exam questions to go through. So I'm nearly finished with the Blackstone tutors. I'm going to go through this and I can give a better verdict. And I'm going to probably do an oral video after I get my oral exam results because I don't want to rank crap and then give you advice that is not good. But in terms of accessibility, this is so expensive on for such a small book. I thought it'd be thicker. I got this off Vinted. So you can get this book off Vinted. I don't know. I haven't used it, but from what I've gathered, it's just a basic question book. I still bought it anyway. The books that I'm going to talk to you about are things that I haven't physically bought, but they're ones that I have used. The reason why I haven't bought them is that my university is quite good because we have like an online library server where you can actually get online versions of the books and not have to buy them, which is perfect because they're very mindful of not breaking the bank. So the one book that I want to talk to you about, I'm looking to the side because I want to get this right. I'm going to stick a picture of it around here. Is The Math Skills for Pharmacy: Unlocking Pharmaceutical Calculations by Chris Langley and Yvonne Perry. So this book is so good if you didn't do A-level maths. It's good if you've come into pharmacy having done maths GCSE and you haven't done maths for a while, because it gives you the essential math skills, like in the title, of what you need to do to calculate certain calculations within dilution realms and things like that. It's very niche as well. The reason why I specifically used it because in first year we did a lot of acid, base, and buffers calculations going on. I could not do buffer equations for the life of me. I hated them. I still hate them. But like I used this book and the night before it just clicked. The night before the exam, it just clicked. And then I went in the exam the next day. It was a 20-mark buffer question. And it's just good at breaking things down, and it looks at different ways you can do certain things. And I'm a very visual learner, so when learning certain things I actually need to physically see an example to get it. So that's why my calculation videos that I'm posting up at the minute is very example based, because I think that's just the best way you need to learn them, different skills and different things. So I wouldn't say buy it, but if you've done A-level maths or you only struggle with particular topics, because I didn't buy it, I just got it offline, and because I only struggled with like 2 or 3 topics. But if you are really not good at maths and you're really worried, this is a really good book that you could invest in as well. And then another book that I'm going to put here is Autumn Pharmaceutics. Now, Autumn Pharmaceutics is this is based on my uni, but my uni, you wrote a lot of their lectures based on Autumn Pharmaceutics. Please do not buy this book. It is so expensive. Like it's like 40 pounds, £60. Don't even bother. I used it for 1 year. I even went to the library and read a few sentences of it, and it wasn't even like justified. Like, do not buy the book. Is it a good book? Yes. It explains everything in detail. It backs everything up the teacher's slides went through, because my teachers based a lot of their slides on this Autumn Pharmaceutics book. So if you want to get good wider reading and you have no clue what's going on, go to the library and use that book. I mean, go to the library, but do not buy it. You won't use it ever again, and it's just too expensive to justify. And don't waste your money. But if you really don't like pharmaceutics and you get confused by certain topics, like I think I read a lot about solid dosage forms on it and things like that. I really can't remember. That's how like influential this book is. But I don't want to beat down the book because it is a good book, because your lecturers use it to write their slides. So if you want to do wider reading, then go and find it in the library. Do not buy it. That's just like the verdict. And finally, I want to talk to you about the MEP. So the MEP stands for the Medicines Ethics and Practice Handbook. And even though it's not a book, it's a website. It basically used to be a PDF book that everyone kind of used to use. And what it is, it basically talks to you about all the sorts of law and ethics that you need to know as a pharmacist. And it's as important as the BNF. I'd probably say it's second to the BNF in importance in pharmacy, because any ethically challenging scenarios that you have, a lot of the pathways and the ideology about what you should do would be in the MEP. So things like emergency supplies, what to do if you've got a controlled drug, what is the prescription requirements for a controlled drug, how do you deal with a vet prescription. Your whole module, if you just regurgitate the MEP, you'll do fine in your exam. You'll do amazing in your exam, and it will go through everything. I know that you can even, if you have ethical scenarios that you really want to answer to, but even though it's not a book, it's something that I want to highlight as like a piece of text that is really important in pharmacy. And there you have it. So I've gone through about, like, I don't know how many books I've gone through. Counter down there, we'll probably say. That's probably every single book that I've actually used or found useful during my pharmacy school journey. And I know that a lot of TikTok videos have highlighted on TikTok videos what books I've used, but I've never really actually talked about whether or not I'd buy it again, or if you actually should use it, but maybe look for a cheaper alternative. A lot of these books you can find, like with the situational judgment book, I found on Vinted. I know World of Books do really, really cheap versions of the book, so have a look there. Ask your uni if they can even buy the book for the library if you're really wanting it. Go to the library. Your uni probably even has online versions. Try and do those different ways before spending your money because you are a student. Like a lot of these books, I think you could do without, as long as you have the BNF and also the MEP, then you should be fine. I want to make a comment about reading lists as well. A lot of the universities have Canvas or Moodle pages. You can find reading lists on there about certain books that your teachers encourage you to do wider reading on. If you have spare time, I'd say look at the books and actually look at what they contain. And I should advocate for wider reading, but I'm going to be honest with you, I never did it. And I'm just going to be open and honest and realistic. I never did it. And if I felt, if I went through a lecture and I felt confused about a certain topic, then I would wider read. Or if I was really interested and wanted to read further, then I would wider read. But with the reading list, I think it just gave me a bit more of an idea of what we're actually learning. And if I was especially dreading a topic, like I hate cardio, then I would go through the reading list for it. But if you are especially dreading like a certain module and things like that, having a look at the reading list, having a look at like what books are useful and things like that. But the reason why I'm not too like open to reading with reading lists and reading every book on it is because sometimes like the lecturers will use the book for like one lecture, and it's in pharmacy, I'm not gonna lie, it's about really maximizing your time to for it to be useful. And wider reading is useful, but let's be realistic, you have so many other things going on. Like it's not like one of those degrees where you can sit and read and really get invested. It's all about understanding the information that they've given you and applying it for every single module. It's just pharmacy isn't that hard. It's just very fast paced. So all the time that you have now, it's just that you need to save it for other things and revision. So if you want to wider read, I'm not against it, but realistically, I'd never had time to do it. So that's my opinion on it. But if you guys have any more books that you think are really good, then comment them below. If you disagree with me on certain books, then comment below as well, and I'll debate you. No, I won't. And also, if you have any more questions, and I'll try and do, well, I am going to do more YouTube videos because I got like a lot of ideas that I want to go through. So stay tuned and also subscribe, and also follow my Instagram if you want a bit more of it day to day, like realistic vibes of what's going on. Like I know you guys are following me on TikTok, but on Instagram I'm a bit more like I will post a picture on the spot type of thing. So yeah. Thank you guys and bye.